Welcome to episode 3 of my Let's Play on Nishcraft on Nishtown's server, Nishcraft. He changed the name recently. Since last time, I broke down and exchanged most of, well, not most of, but a significant portion of my tungsten ore for diamonds, and since that's a 2-to-1 ratio, you can see I got 20 diamonds from that, and that gives me a nice quantity of diamonds. I'm going to be needing those diamonds this episode because I will be upgrading my nanosuit armor to quantum, every single piece of it. However, before I begin that, there are two things that I need to do. The first is going to be to absolutely drain. I went the wrong way with that. The first is going to be to absolutely drain my MFE. And the easiest way of doing that, since I have no scrap, is to just say, you know what? Right here. Now you're going to be on forever. So it's just going to continue. That should be allowing it to work. Are you already drained? Oh no, there we go. It's just going slower than I'm used to because there's no scrap. So that's going to allow this to completely drain out. Now let me look at this little problem. Excellent. So what I've got set up right now is, well, not quite as excellent as I would like. Yes, I am just going to replace that. Let me go and get my tool. This bin. The electric wrench. Fascinating tool. Now, I'm going to be needing this to construct things later. Let's see, do I have anything set up over here? Yes. Okay. The MFSU, which is what I'm going to be building first, will require 6 Laptron crystals and an MFE, an advanced circuit, and a machine block. And the MFE, of course, had these resources already invested in it from earlier. So I already have the nanomaterial. The quantum suit is going to need 10 iridium plates, all of the nano pieces, and 4 additional Laptron crystals. Or Lapotron crystals. It's going to need miscellaneous amounts of glowstone, machine blocks, advanced alloy, and reinforced glass. So it needs 2 advanced circuits there. Okay, I'm going to need a total of 3 advanced circuits. Now, the way that you make an advanced circuit is by taking that, 2 glowstone, a heaping ton of redstone, and lapis. I'm going to be needing a bunch of these, actually. There's some redstone. There's some lapis. 3. Note that I made sure I only made 3. I've got other resources in here from when I was crafting the other stuff. What's this doing? Still draining. That's going to take a while. So over here, it takes 7 UU matter to make 1 iridium ore. And I've already counted out the exact number that I need, 40. That took a lot of UU matter. And those go in this configuration here to make 10. Each of those cost me a diamond. Yeah. Now, what do I need to do next? So I'm going to need the lapitronic crystals, rubber boots. Let's make those first. Needs a wool and a bunch of that. I just need the wools. So you need 2 wools. You can make these out of string or just harvesting from sheep. The rubber boots don't stack. The interesting thing about these is they will protect you from some fall damage. It's a great starting boot to wear around, but it has no protection at all from mobs, which is somewhat annoying. Yes. Before I begin with that, let's just make up the 10 of these that I know I'm going to need. So bring that there, that there, that there. I am going to need 10. Why did I only make 10 circuits? I'm going to need another 10 circuits. Somewhat crazy on my part. That's not going to be nearly enough, is it? Oh, I actually ran out of reinforced iron before I ran out of that. Interesting. So, need more copper and more reinforced iron. And while I'm up here... Well, that can wait until night. I still have other stuff I need to do anyway. Copper... Refined iron. Not reinforced iron, refined iron. The copper goes up into here. And then these go in here. Well, not all of them. A little more redstone. Oh, I'm actually going to need 2 machine blocks as well. There are the other 10. Ah, I'm doing it wrong. There's one other thing I forgot. I have to start out with redstone. This is actually the most annoying part, because none of these stack. And all of them need to be like that. Excellent. Now, the boots. 2 iridiums thing. Let's just do that. Boot pair. Since they upgraded it, I believe I'm actually able to do this with partially charged ones. Yes, excellent. You can see the difference in charge between these two. These hold immensely more power. The pants require machine block and glowstone. And I have the glowstone, but first, let's get those machine blocks that it wants. The crystal, the iridium, the pants, which I've barely used at all, and yeah. One other important thing to note, at this exact moment, I can't add any additional charge to these, because what I lack is the MFSU. You have to have the MFSU in order to charge them. There they are. Thought I was going to do my final assembly in a different project table. Oops, sticky keys. finally, the helmet is that recipe there. Ah, I forgot to make myself an advanced machine block. Did I compress? No, I did not. Thought I had. Maybe I didn't, I just put them somewhere. Nope. I'm actually going to need the other refined iron that's up here. Oh, silly me. I did that drop without having any armor on. So, a machine block. Two of those. Oh, drat. See, that's just annoying. It's nighttime now, of course, and that sucked up all the rest of my power. Make absolutely sure that you are in lossless wrench mode, and then point at the face of the output. Suck it up. Put that one in there instead. And there we go. So now as soon as it's daytime again, I will have power, and I will be able to complete that. That just doesn't sound very fun. Do I have anything at all charged already? Could have just made an energy crystal and charged it. No. Let's see. Geothermal generator. Yeah, I can break that out. Just put the geothermal generator on there. And for the impatient, take one of your handy lava buckets for your forestry engines and stick that in your geothermal instead. Make sure that guy is topped off first. And that will dump out the rest of its power. So I need that. Those two. Now that other advanced circuit is needed there. And where did my machine block go? Oh, no, that is what I need. There is my MFSU. And it's still nighttime. Now, where I place this is actually going to be super critical. I'm not going to want to move it. like at all. And it's going to end up staying there for quite some time. Oh, wait. I have to make one other thing, don't I? Is this the one? Yeah. So the easy way of making 4 gold cables is to do that to get single insulated, and since this is a project table, do that. Okay. I believe it was one of these. Then like that gets me a medium voltage transformer. And I know that I saved that stuff from earlier somewhere. Maybe it's in this chest. Junk project tables. No. No. Ah, I remember. There it is. Iron cable. It's lossless across 1 block with any insulation at all. So that's what I'm going to be using. And this little setup right here, I need to rearrange. Still want to keep that there, but let's see, that's going to be the output one, so oh man, I need to stop doing that. There we go, that's what I'm going to need for right now. Do I or do I not? Yeah, the design sort of just dictates it. These, don't worry, just drill them, you won't lose it. Oh, I don't think I'll lose this one either for drilling it. Ouch, I did. Now I know, they changed that. That's okay, I just lost half a gold and some rubber. Good thing I had a spare. And, more importantly, now you can learn from my mistake. Don't do that. Definitely never drill that. That's always one that you got to do the right way. So now for the only output. Yeah, that's the only output that can possibly withstand it. And quickly, before it's dawn, shift-click that, so that I can't even see it with the cable on. It's so thick and massive. Wait a minute. That's going to blow up. You know what? No. Let's get that cable out of there. And let's apply this one like so. There we go. Now, just to make doubly sure, shift-clicking should not do that. Okay. That, when dawn arrives, should be okay. and that's going to need to be there. Just in time, too. It's now dawn. There is my geothermal generator. Now that wiring is all screwed up right there. But that's okay. I won't actually be needing my mass fab to take away extra power for a while. Because, this has a capacity of 10 million energy units, and I have a very empty suit of quantum armor that I'm about to complete. The final piece, let's see, it was that, there, and there, wasn't it? Yeah. Quantum suit helmet. As other people have covered in the past, and will again in the future, the Qsuit helmet, that looks weird with my avatar in this texture pack. The Qsuit helmet gives you the ability to breathe underwater and precludes you from starving. However, all of my armor is very uncharged at the moment. I would not want to face very much. It does give you the ability to super jump. Whoa. Resist all fall damage. Let's try it right here. Whee! Yeah, 4 low voltage solars gives me 32. Just 32 EU/T. That still gives you that derpy little thing right there. Doesn't save you from the lack of light, though. This is probably going to get harder to watch. So you just saw the bubbles refill down there. And I suppose that there is one other thing I should do briefly. Very briefly, given the state of charge. Super sprint. Sweet. That's going to save me so much time. Now, the other thing that I wanted to show you that should be enough. Taking a dip in lava, immunity to fire. Just costs you some energy, so don't do more than a brief little dip like that with the low value like I've got right here. You need to be fully charged before you start doing dangerous stuff like that. Oh yeah, the height. So right here, control, jump, doesn't quite get me onto the roof. That's not why I built it that high, I just built it up to a chunk boundary. But it is an interesting consequence of how low the ground around this was. And let's count, I've got 12 diamonds left. Gee, I used about 20 diamonds doing this. So that's why I'd put it off for so long, and now I finally got that done, and I can start making about a gajillion solars and setting up my reactors. And oh, there's one other thing I should note. Wearing this also gives you effectively immunity to nuclear explosions and such, if you happen to be running a breeder reactor and it goes wrong on you. You'll still lose everything else around it, though, so don't count on that for basic protection. Just count on that for saving you from immediately dying in the aftermath. "25 minutes is also a fairly good wrapping up point. I'm going to need to re-engineer that, as I mentioned earlier. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do about it yet, but it will be somewhat similar. The other thing is I may want to move the mass fabricator up to here so that I can dump directly from it, but I don't even really have the necessary energy. Oh, I do. I do have the necessary energy to recharge that. Fast tool charging. That's an improvement I will appreciate. So yes, full suit of Q armor. Excellent. Whoa. Still need to get used to that. Away. Also, the sort of twitch derp effect for the jump is something that is added this version when they took away the negating of all full damage and instead used a backup method. However, using that backup method does make everything work on SMP for a change, so I'm quite happy with that. Oh, I don't need to carry around the stakes anymore. That's wasted inventory now. I should give those away to someone else. Nature section. Wonder how I can help out with the railroad now that I've got most of my stuff in close enough to order that I can actually be of help instead of a liability when working on it. Oh, and I also definitely missed that jumping ability. Doesn't help out when I get stuck down here, but makes the rest of my workshop much easier to navigate. Ah, speaking of navigating stuff, I forgot to explain how this works. I guess that will fill in the rest of what I wanted to do for the episode's time length. They've switched to using teleport pipes, and you can't see them in my texture pack, and this one's actually apparently not registering that it's connected out to the other one where my quarry is, but it comes in, goes through a golden pipe right here to keep it going fast into my relay, which then injects it directly into a single piece of pipe right there that's single piece of tube that's right there next to a sorting machine. The sorting machine sends off the ores to get macerated and the dusts to be smelted, and all of these go to recycling. These right here go towards the same loop because that's the longest route here and I routed around it. That filters out single scrap and sends it off to a chest to be scrap recycled. And over here, I've got a chest for each of those. I should have made one for sandstone specifically, but there isn't much of it, so it's just sort of sitting there. And I've got a nice amount of marble now. I can actually do some nice stuff. I might build a rail section out of marble since it's just a block. It's a mod block, but it's still just a block. There's no metadata or anything special about it. At least not that I'm aware of. Anyway, it goes through the sorter. This is blue Trisic power right here going over to it. And most of the items will end up going to a second sorter over here down the white line, which is the default route on this. Just the very common items will go here, such as the obsidian flint and the coal and macerated coal dust. I could send those to the same destination easily. Everything else goes through this sorting machine here, and I've got it set up for a couple of different colors with a default route color of magenta, and anything else goes there. I didn't actually have magenta, that's just that it doesn't go down one of the colored lines. And there's actually a restriction pipe down there that you can see in my texture pack. As you can see, my tree farm has been dumping stuff in here, but I've also hit abandoned mine shafts, which I can now explore and look into. I've got, these are collected myself. Go down there. I reserved these in case I ever do IC2 farming and want to put them under blocks for various reasons. Tin, copper, valuable stuff, iron. Used up most of the refined iron making the quantum suit armor. the advanced metal alloy, I just call it trimetal stuff, uses, you have to do refined iron on the top, tin there, and brass there, bronze there rather. And the bronze, of course, is 3 copper and 1 tin thanks to the forestry recipe instead of the even more expensive Industrial Craft 2 recipe. Although if you're using Industrial Craft 2, it has a denser selection of iron and copper, so it sort of balances out there. But that needs to be compressed over here, which is why, not my mass fabricator, which is why I thought, oh, maybe I tossed the coal, I don't even remember what it was called, the coal dust woven into a carbon fiber mesh plate thing after it gets done being compressed. But yeah, all I really need to do now is charge up all of my suit elements, which is going to take a long time unless I set up a different kind of reactor, and then continue mining a little bit more just to collect additional resources. But there's no huge rush on that now. It's just all for getting more power and solar panels and actually contributing to projects that do useful things, instead of just enabling me to potentially do useful things. Oh, I'm sorry, I was in the middle of talking about this. So the orange route, of course, is the ores that are being sent off to be macerated. And this is just a relay here, which will buffer the blocks in the output, send it to just 2 macerators, and a retriever there, which is set to empty, triggers every 2 seconds when it's running. Right now there's a switch under it that's turned off, and that pulls from my recycling units here, which are fed in the top and go into an overflow chest there, as well as, this is the long line coming in here, the Red Power 2 Bluetricic furnaces. I did that just to save on Industrial Craft power for smelting things. That similarly has a relay buffering them, and they're fed with anything that I want to smelt, but they're further away from the retriever than the recyclers or the macerators by design. And you'll also notice that the furthest one is fed first. This is intentional. This is so that the retriever will attempt to retrieve from the 2 systems that are first in line after stuff being quarried for processing, and then to retrieve from the furnaces if it has additional cycles spare. This way, it's less likely to back up for a longer period of time, and when it finally does back up, it will start over here when these get full, and it will have no choice, because these won't have any place to stand stuff, but to pull full stacks from over here, which should theoretically allow things to get flowing again more quickly and hopefully keep up with the input buffer here. That way the Buildcraft pipes won't overflow and go anywhere. And of course, when it gets retrieved and it's finished being processed and comes over here, because it's not categorized in this sorting machine, then it's all just delivery to the storage chests, which have way more space than I'm likely to need. These chests over here, of course, are just initial first destinations. And as you can see, I have plenty of dirt and cobblestone at the moment. A lot of sand, too. This is sandstone down here. Not quite as much sand as I might want, but more than I will need. Sand is very useful for glass and other things that are pretty. Also for making sandstone in a pinch, but I prefer not to do that. Excellent, that added about another 10 minutes to the episode. I also started some bee stuff. I traded for some, don't even remember what the combs were. They were the kind that produce, you can make lava out of that in a squeezer, apparently, and you're supposed to use sand in that. Why is there dirt in my electrical engine? That's why there's dirt in my electrical engine. I will fix that now. There we go. Happy Recycler Day. Have some dirt. Yeah, things got a little squeezed down here when I was setting this up. Just a little. It's still fairly pretty. Anyway, I will hopefully see you next week. I'm going to try to maintain my one-a-week schedule on these, even though I'm getting increasingly busy. I don't know if I'll have anything else to present. This was sort of the peak of getting basic resources in place, aside from just more power generation. I might end up doing an episode on a breeder reactor next. But the rail project is actually supposed to be starting up again this week too, and now that I'm ready to contribute, maybe I'll get busy doing that and record that instead. Enjoy your game.